Today I'm giving this mixed pair of vintage Dixie nightstands a full makeover, and I am so excited about this transformation. I found this pair secondhand, and while they have amazing bones, the finish was dated, scratched, and definitely in need of some love. I'm Scott with Scottified Furniture, and to those that know me, welcome back, and to the first timers, welcome. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more furniture makeovers. So here's what we started with. The shape is beautiful. I love the subtle detailing and the really balanced proportions, but that finish, it is worn. For this pair, I'm going to go with a fresh, elevated look, something that feels high-end yet timeless. So what do you say? Let's get started. Prep is honestly the least glamorous part when it comes to furniture flipping, but honestly, it is the most important. So here I am, I'm giving everything a really thorough cleaning using Crud Cutter. Vintage furniture, it can hold on to years of polish, dust, and residue, and the paint will not stick properly unless that surface is really clean. You'll notice here I do really try to focus on the top surface, the edges, and around the drawer fronts. And please accept my apologies for my filming. I was not thinking, and because I've got this in vertical, you're going to see here that you really can't see me cleaning the tops and the drawers very well. But I can promise you they were scrubbed squeaky clean. And then I'm going to come in here with some warm water and just wash off that residue. Now you're probably looking at these and thinking, Scott, these are two completely different nightstands. There's no way they're going to be able to go together. Hopefully I can prove you wrong. Now once I finish washing these off, I am going to come in with a new microfiber cloth, and I'm going to start drying that moisture off of these pieces so that I can get them ready for priming. So if you're painting a vintage piece, especially something that has an older finish, primer is going to be your very best friend. In previous videos, I've used my Wagner Flexio to spray primer. I've done roll-on primer, but today I'm using Kill spray primer in a can. And as long as I made sure to apply it in a thin, even coat, and then I let it dry in between coats, and I will sand lightly with a 320 grit sandpaper with a light hand. And I apologize, I did fail to show that step. I forgot to hit record on my camera, but I promise you I did sand in between two coats. Now for the fun part, let the transformation begin. I have created a beautiful custom green color for these nightstands. I am using my favorite paint, which is farmhouse paint. I'm using a mix of 2 parts Turbo Time to 1 part Dark Ivy. For this project, I did choose to hand brush the nightstands. I'm using my 2-inch brush from Farmhouse Paint called the Grip. I love how it fits snugly in my hand and easy to control. I start with painting the tops of my nightstands and then the edges, working my way down the body. Now, I know for many furniture flippers, they paint their drawers fronts separately. However, I have found, at least in this instance, that I'm able to paint them inserted as they are. I will go do the inside edges of the drawers very carefully so not to get any paint on the beautiful dovetailing that is in the drawer sides. I have to say, I really think the color that I'm choosing to use here modernizes the shape and makes those clean lines stand out. It honestly feels lighter and more current. You'll have to leave me a comment and let me know what you think of the green. And here's the first coat of paint on the nightstands. While it's not the prettiest, it is a great base. At this point here, once it was dry, I went back and did a quick sand with a 320 grit, and now we'll begin that second coat. For my second coat, you're going to notice I've switched brushes. I am using an artist brush. This is really helping me make sure I get a good, clean coverage in those grooves. And I'm also going to use a roller this time. For this pass, you'll notice that the drawers are out, and this allows me to get the artist brush in there and really get into those grooves nice and neatly. And here they are after their second coat. Oh my gosh, I am loving this green. Once this is completely dry, I'm going to go over it with a 320 grit sandpaper and then start my third coat as I'm doing right here. Once again, going in with the roller and that detailed artist brush that I'm using for these nooks and crannies that I need to make sure I get in. At this point, I want to share with you that after I finished this third coat, I did go in with 2 coats of poly, sanding with a 400 grit sandpaper in between. Sadly, my camera failed to record. User error. I have to hit the record button. But let's take a look at the before. These were those dated vintage Dixie nightstands. And here is the after. You'll notice I kept the original hardware. I just went in and cleaned it up and added a little bit of rub and buff to it to give it just a little more shine. What do you think? Do you think this custom green modernized this pair of vintage Dixie nightstands? Better yet, do you think they work as a mix and match pair? I'd definitely love to hear your comments. I want to thank you guys for watching, and please hit that like and subscribe button, and do drop me a comment. Your feedback is valuable and I love hearing from you. Again, my name is Scott. This is Scottified Furniture, where I like to make old new again.